Welcome to Keiretsu Forum Presents. My name is Randy Williams, proud member of Keiretsu Forum. We're a 16-year organization founded in Silicon Valley. I'm also the founder and CEO, and every month, and this is our 6 months, we have content-rich programs for you. And this month we have a wonderful friend and member the last 7 years, Sahara Alexis, talking about her journey of angel investing from a woman's perspective. Why don't we dive right in the program, and why don't we talk about your background first, and then we have a whole myriad of questions and things that will emerge. This is 2 segments, so this is 15 minutes, and the second segment will really drill down on what it takes to be a successful angel investor.
Okay. Thanks, Randy. Angel investing is really important to me. I realized as a young woman I needed to take control of my destiny, and part of that was learning more about angel investing. I'm a Bay Area native, born and raised in Palo Alto. Educated at UC Berkeley. I've been in technology for most of my career in one way or another. And so I get really excited about starting up new technologies and emerging innovation that's coming in from the Valley.
Now, you're going to be modest, so I'm going to pull out your background, but let's have a story first. Your story starts when we founded Keiretsu Forum 16, 17 years ago, because your parents had the vision saying, I want to educate my daughter, our daughter. So what happened there?
Well, I was young, and my parents were talking about doing an investment in the company that they were looking at. And at the time, I'd made money, and they were like, what are you going to do with your money? And I was like, well, I have a house. What else do I need to do? And my stepfather said, you know, I think you got to come with me. I'm gonna bring you together as a guest at the Keiretsu Forum. And I was like, well, what's the Keiretsu Forum? What is that all about? And he said, it's where angel investors get together and help fund initial companies and people who have dreams and passions. And I remember the first day of going to AT&T, a corporate park, and sitting in a room with probably 40 investors at the time and seeing present 8 different companies. And I remember being totally overwhelmed. I was like, wow, this is how this all starts. And I remember turning to my stepfather and says, do I need to talk about anything? He's like, no, just listen. Your job today is to listen. And so I continued to listen for the first year at the Keiretsu Forum.
Now, when younger people intern for Keiretsu Forum in their 20s, they think they're learning from us. We're really learning from them, because indirectly, they're the target market. All the great companies we fund, and now we're close to 800 companies we have funded. We are always looking at where the target market is, and obviously youth plays a part of it. It might be the parent's credit card. But what did you learn the first year that got you to a place, obviously great success in yourself? You still need to talk about your background, but you've been a member 7 years. So rolling forward, what did you do for your career after you came to Keiretsu Forum? What did you learn? And also, what career did you choose before you became more prolific angel investor?
Well, that's a lot in one question. So initially, what I took the time to learn in that process is to say that if there is a channel that's coming in of new companies, right, that can take seed, develop, evolve, and have a humongous impact on our marketplace, it's best to have an understanding of what's in the beginning of the pipeline and what's on the outside of the pipeline, right? So that you can see what's going on and what kinds of decisions I can make for my customers and clients. Obviously, it's part of my background. I'm a technology executive. So I worked with Fortune 500 companies looking at how technology has changed their landscape. So being involved with the Keiretsu Forum, I was able to see where and what people were thinking about before it actually happened. And that was a pretty profound thing, which forced me to become more engaged in what it is I was doing versus being passive.
And Sahara, is it smarter for you to get involved with a company, to create adult supervision or help them grow the company? You think you have more success, obviously, for yourself and the company if you get more involved? Maybe, information rights or board or helping them with customers. Tell us what resources you give a company to help them grow.
Right. So it's funny you should say that. I was just involved with that yesterday and the day before yesterday. Throughout my career, and as a professional, let me step back for a moment. I'm a technology strategist, right? So in that, I help companies understand how technology can change their landscape and how it actually ties back down to their bottom line and their business objectives overall. I've taken that same knowledge and understanding and boiled it down to a smaller company, right? My sweet spot professionally is being able to grow businesses to the next level, right? So it's the company who is like, I got a great idea. I want to start this new segment, new area. I'm one of those people that come in and help change and grow that. So when I look at entrepreneurs and people who are starting up with new companies, initially I just did due diligence. I would go and say, okay, do you know what you want to do? Do you have the funds? What's your value proposition for the customer? Do you know your customer? But then I realized that most of these people may not have run a business before. They have no idea. And so I decided as a woman investor that I need to be involved in the companies that I've funded in one way or another. And also to spend the time learning more about the passion of the jockey, quote unquote, the leadership team, to the passion for the industry or the product that they're trying to deliver. And 3, sustainability. Can they keep talking about this in year 5?
What does involvement mean, number 1? And number 2, myself personally, because I've made over 50 investments at Keiretsu, it's fascinating when they don't receive knowledge. So are you picking jockeys, i.e. CEOs, that receive your knowledge and let you in to their ecosystem to help? And what does that look like for Sahara to get involved with a company to help it?
Right. So it's funny you should say that, because I think as part of being an angel investor, you have to ask yourself the question, why do you want to invest in this company? Are the people coachable? Are they willing to see and change some of the things that are going on, right? And can you help minimize the overall risk, right? Because we want to obviously increase the revenue and return on our investment. And so it's kind of a push and pull relationship with the entrepreneur. And so the way that I've gotten involved there's a connection that's there. Sometimes it may be based on the industry. Other times it may be based on the product and my understanding there. And other times it's just that I think it's a really great idea and they've taken the time to think about it. And so we'll have casual conversations initially to figure out where their head's at. Then this is after.
So drilling down on involvement, though, so they receive you, they get it, they know that you can be trusted, they know you have great knowledge, you have access, you have relationships. So how do you say, gee, I want to help you, and what do? How do you help them?
Well, it's funny, I'm now at the point that I just ask the question. Knowing what I do, I just said, how do you want me to help you? How can I help you be successful?
Sounds like a Tom Cruise line. Help me help you, or how's that line go? Is that right? Anyhow, so this is March. This is our 6th segment, and we film every month, and this is National Women's Month. So let's talk from a woman's perspective. Because most angel groups are populated in less than 10% women. As you know, myself and my team have worked the last decade. He said, let's increase that percentage. So we're over 20% women members. We have 2,500 members. We're fortunate to have 46 locations globally, and we all started here in Northern California. So it seems to me, and I'll bring up an example. We have a wonderful, I don't know if you invested in this company called Keiretsu, bought by L'Oreal. It's skincare for women and men, and it was a 13x return for us. And we would have never made that investment unless it was brought by our women members in our Northwest, or Seattle chapters. Right. And so that is fantastic, but a lot of women are on the sidelines. It should be, because I just heard a statistic today that 90% of the buying decisions, I don't know if it's domestically or globally, are made by women. Well, they should be at the table. They should be represented. So why aren't they more involved in angel investing? Well,
I think it can be intimidating for women. I think when you sit in a group and they're predominantly men, right? You feel uncomfortable sometimes asking the question, right? And I think one of the things that we've done at the Keiretsu Forum is to really encourage mind share, right, amongst members, regardless of who you are, regardless of what background you have. Because if you leverage the knowledge base of someone standing next to you, your investment actually is a better investment because you've made more sound decisions. I think with education about angel investing, more women will come. I think it's one of those things that it can be mysterious, right? And I think if the fundamentals are broken down in such a way that they're consumable, right, for your audience, and you realize that it's a journey. It's not just one day you turn on the switch and now you're an angel investor, but really talk about what do you want to do for your future? How does it play into your day-to-day life? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to make an impact, right? You have to be actively involved.
Members, women or men that join Keiretsu Forum, generally invest in things they're comfortable with at first. Then they're drafting off other members they respect, and they've learned, getting back to your idea, they've learned other verticals or they've learned other companies they're intrigued with, and then they may foray into that. So take us through the steps of your first investment, and you know.
Right. So being involved with technology, mine was easy. It was a technology-based company. And in that investment, it allowed me to become more confident as an angel investor because I knew it because this is what I did every single day, right? And so I then started to work with other colleagues of the forum itself that may have known more about infrastructure because I didn't know exactly what this little nuance was. Then I worked with somebody who had more experience with marketing. And then I started to understand that these are collective feedback or feedback loops that we had in place made it easier to have conversations about other companies, right? So for the first probably 18 months, I was like, I'm all technology. And I remember you making a comment in one of the forums saying, you know, I'm a big real estate guy, and I was like, you know, we need to change that. So I made a point of educating the rest of the members about technology and the newer technology that was coming to bear, as well as you brought in some insights about real estate that I never knew about.
Well, I started Keiretsu Forum because I needed to diversify out of real estate, and of my 54 investments, half of them are real estate, but half of them are technology, because I'm drafting off smarter people like you. And so this segment is already over, and it's a 15-minute segment. We're going to launch in the second segment. We're going to really drill down on opportunities and companies that have resonated with you and possibly have resonated with other members or women members in particular, because this is national, what was it? This is this is
National Women's Month.
Thank you. National Women's Month. So with that, we're going to conclude, and then we're going to go into segment 2 right after this break.
Thanks, Wendy.